Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. And in this episode, we're going to be doing a little spring reset, giving your liver a ton of love because this time of year it's absolutely necessary. At the end of March, it was the start of spring. It's also coinciding with the start of Aries season, a new astrological new year. So if you have just started to feel a shift, there's been a lot going on astrologically as well with Mercury retrograde, eclipses, several eclipses, one after another. There's just been a lot going on. I don't know about you, but a lot of things have shifted since the start of the new year. And even in terms of New Year resolutions and everyone beginning their transformation journeys on the 1st of January, some people just don't feel like that is the right time. I love the start of a new year and will always take advantage of that. But if you are someone who just wasn't feeling it, you were still in your hibernation phase, you didn't feel motivated, but now you do, it could be that now is the start of your new year. And we can start at any point. We can start on any random Tuesday afternoon, but this is a really nice time because spring is the time for growth and renewal. It is a time to have a rebirth. There's sudden growth, there is rapid expansion happening across nature. And in Chinese medicine, we have the five elements. So there are fire, earth, metal, water, and wood. And in Chinese medicine, TCM, spring is the time of the wood element. And the wood element governs the liver and the gallbladder. So that's why I'm saying this time of year, you might be having some symptoms flare up if your liver and gallbladder are off, if your wood element is off. So in this episode, I'm going to be sharing some of my top tips to help with your detoxification and therefore your energy, your hormones, literally everything. Spring also correlates with the color green and sour flavors in the diet. So you might notice some of these on my list as we go through, but let me start with some symptoms and signs of a sluggish liver, a sluggish gallbladder, sluggish detox. They all tend to go together. Emotionally, you might currently be feeling a lot of frustration, irritability, and anger if you have an unstable liver gallbladder. Each organ has an associated or several associated emotions, so you can look at it from either direction. When you have a lot of anger, irritability, and you haven't been releasing those, they've been suppressed, then that can affect the liver gallbladder. But then when you have liver gallbladder issues, it can cause some of these emotions to come up. Fatigue, seasonal allergies, acne, you might have eye issues, even bags under the eyes, itchy eyes, and even things like pain in the body and specifically issues with your ligaments and tendons. You might just be feeling a little bit creaky, you might be getting some pulled muscles, you might be feeling some little niggles that are frustrating you, and this could be related to your liver. Who would have thought it? Your traditional doctor probably isn't going to put two and two together, but I'm here to tell you that the liver really does affect a ton of different things. So when it's off, even slightly, so many things in the body can be affected. So let's start with some of my favorite ways to support your liver. You can implement these any time of year, but definitely in spring. Now is the time to practice some of these tools. The first one is movement. So with spring, it's like with the menstrual cycle, there's different phases there too that can coincide with the seasons of the year. Spring is more like the follicular phase. So I say that your energy levels are increasing. You can go a little bit harder with your exercise. You can tolerate more. Your body is less susceptible to stress. It's more resilient during that time. And the form of movement is going to look a little bit different to everyone, but I advise and I recommend getting outside. Walking is seriously underrated. You don't have to be breaking a sweat or feel like you're dying to have a good workout. Getting outside is going to have so many more benefits as well, because this time of year too, another spring tip is to gradually start to build up your sun tolerance, because the ideal time to be building up our vitamin D levels and the ideal way and format to get it is through the sun, not a vitamin D supplement. There's a time and a place for supplementation. Some people do well with them, but ideally we should be building up our skin's tolerance. And if we instead just stay indoors all day or are covered up completely in sunscreen and clothes, and then we go on a 2-week all-inclusive trip to Mexico and burn to a crisp, that is where risk of skin cancer and the negative effects of the sun can come in. But actually, when we start now in April, May time, we slowly start gradually building up our skin's tolerance. When your insides are healthy as well, when your inflammation levels are lower, when your antioxidant levels are higher, we do tend to burn less and our skin can handle the sun a little bit more. So if you are one of those people who have sun sensitivity, you get a lot of skin rashes, you get hives, you get a lot of burns, there could be a lot that you can improve with that internally. Some people do have paler skin, some people do tolerate sun more when you have darker skin. That's fine, but yeah, you'll probably find that as your health improves, your tolerance to the sun improves. Mine absolutely did. I used to get heat rashes all the time and hives and would just burn really easily, even though I have naturally olive skin. So movement in some way, whatever you're drawn to, whatever you will stick with, just make sure you're moving your body every single day. Second thing is upping your hydration to support your liver and detoxification. This isn't just plain water either. You could be drinking a gallon a day. I wouldn't even recommend that. 2 to 3 liters max of fluids per day. Coffee and caffeine doesn't contribute towards that. Herbal teas do if they're non-caffeinated. But we want to make sure that the water and the hydration is rich in minerals, especially electrolytes. At the moment, for the rest of April, my mineral balancing course, I'm Balanced, is open for enrollment for the very last time. There's over 100 people in this program from over the years, and it is a lifelong resource that you can get access to. But after this month, I'm going to be only allowing practitioners to access this course because I am now doing practitioner mentoring, and as part of that program, they get access to this. So if you want to have this amazing tool, it's not just for practitioners at the moment. It's not in very complex terms. It's easy to understand and follow along if you're not trained in any of this. But within that, you get a complimentary HTMA. You get, I think, over 8 hours, maybe like around 10 hours of content in there talking about minerals, how they impact the body, how in order to heal your gut, detox your liver, balance your hormones, you actually need minerals to do that. So it's such a foundational thing. This is why it's my favorite test to do with my one-to-one clients. If you're not wanting to do the mineral course and do it yourself with figuring out what's going on and following the recommendations, you can speed up the process and come and work with me one-to-one online, and I will do all of that work for you, and then you just follow the plan to the best of your ability. But it's such an amazing course, and currently it's on sale. So for less than £400, you get access to my favorite functional lab test and this lifetime resource that you can refer back to once or twice a year is my recommendation. You would just purchase additional HTMA tests, which at the moment are £99. You can run them on yourself in the future to make sure you're on the right track with your protocol. You can use them with family members as well. And there's so much information about heavy metals and foods rich in minerals to be focusing on, why we become so mineral deficient in the first place, things like medication. If you've ever been on the birth control pill, you're at risk of mineral deficiencies, even if it was 5 years ago. Just because the modern stress levels and food depletion, soil depletion makes it harder for us to get the proper minerals in our body. So highly recommend that if you haven't jumped in yet. You've only got a couple of weeks left to sign up, and I would love to have you inside. And within a few weeks, after you've signed up, you could have your lab results back and be starting on your mineral balancing journey, which is very exciting. And when your minerals are more balanced, your liver is going to be working better, and you're going to support what we're discussing today. I just want to check, are you addressing the healing foundations? Not sure what I mean? Well, these are the important factors that I believe that you need to address in order to be in optimal health and overcome your stubborn health issues and symptoms, whether that's chronic digestive issues, acne, hair loss, period problems, weight gain, anxiety, fatigue. I could go on. Because I want as many of you as possible to have this life-changing information, I've bundled together 6 of my juiciest and info-packed masterclasses priced at just £111. Not only are you getting these recordings, which are between 60 and 90 minutes long each, on the following subjects: the power of the subconscious mind, stress, trauma, and the nervous system, supporting your female menstrual cycle, mastering your metabolism, optimizing sleep, gut health and detox. You're also going to receive my healthy groceries shopping list and my favorite non-toxic products guide, which are both usually reserved for my one-to-one clients. Whether you're brand new to the holistic healing world or you've been trying to work on things for a while but feel stuck, I can guarantee there's something within this content that will help you to understand your next steps and what you're missing. Sometimes it's something so foundational that's being overlooked. Get instant access to the Foundations bundle today for just £111 by clicking the link in the episode show notes, and I can't wait to hear about what you've learned. Grab your pen and paper to make notes and get started today. Next few things are to support your detoxification specifically. Some of my favorite tools are coffee enemas. These have been one of my favorite tools that I've ever used. They're definitely not for everyone. Some people need to start much slower, so work with your practitioner to figure out if they're right for you. But coffee enemas for me were a game changer, really supported my liver and clearing out all of the junk and mold toxins and parasite infections that have built up over the years. And they increase levels of glutathione, which is the master antioxidant. One enema, I think it increases glutathione, you can look it up, but by about 300 times, which is insane. You can even take glutathione as a supplement, but I think having your body make its own glutathione is always the best way and way cheaper than, and the glutathione supplements taste pretty rank as well. So coffee enemas to the rescue. Next are castor oil packs. These are more generally tolerated than coffee enemas, so a better starting point if you're not sure or you're a bit sensitive at the moment. They can be placed over the liver, which is under the right rib, and some of my favorite packs that just make it really easy to implement in the UK are Castor Vida. They're available on the Amrita website. I think everything's linked in the show notes for you if you want to grab one with discount. If you're in the US, Dr. Marisol's brand, Queen of Thrones, she has lots of different products. She even has castor oil packs for the thyroid gland, and really good quality castor oil. That's important. It's in a dark glass container, not plastic, and it's hexane-free castor oil. But those two brands both offer refills, and castor oil packs can be used more regularly. Coffee enemas, you probably wouldn't want to do more than one a week, whereas castor oil packs, some people sleep in them every single night. Just build up your tolerance too and go slowly with that. And then last on my detox support favorites is some sort of lymphatic support. You could go for a lymphatic massage, but you can even do your own lymphatic massage at home through the Big Six by Dr. Perry Nicholson. He's been on the episode podcast before. I think it's around episode 200 or something, but we'll link that in the show notes for you. It's a very long episode, about 2 hours, but packed with so much juicy information. He talked all about the lymphatic system and how it's so intricately connected to everything. And definitely this time of year, it's all about movement externally, but internally. It's that stagnancy and that sluggishness that breeds dis-ease. So Big Six lymphatic massage involves the key lymph node areas of the body, like in the chest, the neck, armpits, abdomen, groin, and behind the knees. And you do a special massage. It takes a few minutes every day and really just helps to unclog those lymph nodes and get things moving. And then you can follow up with dry body brushing, which works more on a surface level, but can still be helpful, but not if those deeper lymph nodes are clogged up. So those are my favorites. And then in terms of diet, the color green, so green vegetables, green drinks can be really amazing. Think rocket or arugula, sprouts, cabbage, pak choi or bok choy, dandelion root, broccoli. These in your diet, cooked, unless it's the rocket arugula and things like sprouts. Definitely the cruciferous vegetables like broccoli. You do want to cook that slightly, but think steamed and lightly stir-fried instead of heavily boiled, and all of the nutrients can then leach out of it. And your tolerance of this might be affected if you have bacterial overgrowths and things. So go slowly and build up your tolerance if you're not currently eating these things. And if you do get more bloated and more discomfort, it could be that you have something like SIBO or bacterial dysbiosis. So working on that first will then allow you to benefit from all of these things, because you should be able to tolerate some plant foods in your diet and not feel really gassy and terrible. Raw carrots, this would be one of the only exceptions of things raw. Raw carrots can be amazing at supporting the liver, estrogen detoxification, sour fruits and things like citrus, lemons, limes, grapefruits, all amazing for this spring. Think seasonal foods, asparagus as well is another key one. And then for herbs, herbal teas, there are blends that just have liver supportive herbs altogether, but individually you can get things like burdock, dandelion, ginger, green tea, and nettle tea are some of my favourite for this time of year. Last but not least, to support the liver, I mentioned at the start, there is a big emotional connection between your liver, your gallbladder, and emotions like anger, frustration, and irritability. If it is suppressed, could have been from when you were 4 years old and your mum shouted at you for something that wasn't your fault, or you were picked on at school and you just feel really angry about it. You might not be consciously aware of that, but so many people, especially women, have a lot of suppressed anger in their body. If you're doing all the right things and you're eating your green foods and you're doing your detox work, but you still resonate with your liver being off, and a lot of these liver detox symptoms, maybe emotions are to play. This energetic component cannot be overlooked. And you might need to work with a professional to help you to support this, especially if it's a more serious case. There's been a lot of trauma going on. But even if it's just an ex-partner or a frustrated mother-in-law or a co-worker, on a regular basis that you just need to get some of these emotions out, then tools like journaling, EFT tapping, even just screaming into a pillow every now and again can be very therapeutic. Then maybe close your windows or let your neighbors know that everything's fine. But we had to do this as part of my spiritual mentor program that I finished. It would have been last month now, which was really cool. We learned some more spiritual coaching tools, and we did a lot of work on ourselves as well. And she had us scream into a pillow partway through breathwork, and I was really hesitant at first. And I've heard and realized now that the people who are the most hesitant, or the people who think that they're the least angry, frustrated person, often are the most angry internally, and they just shove it down, suppress it, keep a smile on their face, and try to not bother people. But we all have things from the past or things in the present that stress us, and one of the worst things that we can do is just shut everything down and not express ourselves. So whatever works for you, journaling, scribbling out all of the thoughts on your brain and then burning it or throwing it away, doing some visualization to pull that emotion out of the body. Do what you have to, but make sure that you don't overlook the energetic emotional causes too. Last but not least, more of a general life thing, but can help with this time of year. I've mentioned the sun exposure is a big one, and keep that up for the rest of the summer, because then as you head into winter, when we stop producing vitamin D naturally from the sun around September time, we'll have that nice store of vitamin D built up. It's a fat soluble vitamin, so it can then remain and gradually just start to decline as the winter goes through, but you're not heading into winter rock bottom in vitamin D, and then it just goes even lower and we feel terrible, our immune system's off. Sunlight, and try to not be wearing sunglasses all the time, try to not be wearing SPF all the time. If you are out for long periods of time, then yes, if you have very fair skin and you do burn easily because you're still working on these internal factors, then yes, use the non-toxic products. But I think the sun gets demonized a lot, and it's just not right. Sun is one of the most healthy things, one of the most healing things that we can all access, and it's free. And then the other thing this time of year is, for the spring reset, is a spring clean of the home, of your phone. I did mention this in my New Year reset episode, But if you didn't do that, if you didn't feel up for it, maybe now you do feel a little bit more motivated. So get all of your windows open on a nice day, do a few loads of washing. Me hanging my clothes outside now to dry brings me so much happiness, and that's how I know I'm in my 30s and I'm finally an adult because it brings me so much joy. Do a spring clean in the home, get rid of anything that isn't serving you, clear out your phone of any pictures in your camera roll, any social media accounts that just aren't serving you anymore, that you're comparing yourself to, or you're just getting a lot of negative energy from. Now is the time to cleanse that out, and it will have an effect on your mind and your body because physical clutter can contribute to mental clutter. So I really hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget about the I'm Balanced sale, and enrollment only open for April before it closes for the general public, and it's just a thing for practitioners to access. So grab yourself a mineral test and see what's going on in your body. It's time to stop guessing and start seeing on paper, these are the imbalances that you need to work on. I give all of my favorite recommendations based on your unique mineral imbalances. And then if you're wanting to work one-to-one, I have a few spaces open for April and May, 3 new client availabilities. If you want to start your 6-month transformation process with me, really working on not just the physical, the diet, the detox, the gut health, but also the energetic, spiritual, emotional too, with mindset work, there is a painful bonus of a completely in-depth mindset life coaching session where we can maybe do a personalized hypnosis. We can use it however you'd want to. You want to work on your confidence. You want to work on rewiring certain stubborn limiting beliefs on neural pathways. I got you. I can help you with that. I would love to have you. The link in the bio is to an enrollment call, a free 30 minutes if you want to chat, if you're interested in potentially working together one-to-one. If it's a good fit, then we'll discuss what that would look like. And I would love to support you over the next few months and get you feeling absolutely amazing, how you should be in 2025. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you back here next week for the next one.